It must have been 6 years ago. 6 years ago, a class at IESE Business School in Barcelona. Hot day outside, inside this narrow room, lots of energy, this brownish red, long, heavy table. Around it, 16 people in this small room. And I remember, I think his name was Carlos. Don't nail me down on the name. Carlos gave a speech. It was a 3-minute speech, and in this speech, Carlos wanted to persuade us to eat less salt in life. That was his message. Eat less salt in life. Before his talk, he distributed 15 of these bouillon cubes, in Spanish, avegrein, in front of each one of us. He said, don't touch them. We didn't touch them. And then Carlos gave his speech about eat less salt in life. He said, eat less salt in life for 3 simple reasons. You know the structure already from the other call. He gave 3 arguments, A, B, C. First argument, a Stanford University Medical School study. Salt is really bad. Then a Russian professor researched more on the topic. Salt is completely bad. And the third one, pathos, means pain and passion. Some family member, too much salt. Salt really sucks. And I'm still sitting there on the other side of the table, the trainer, the coach, the teacher, and thinking, oh, one of those speeches, I have to eat less salt in life, and after eat more healthily, and afterwards I go to McDonald's and I eat 2 Big Macs. Carlos repeats the message, and for these 3 reasons, check, eat less salt in life. And the good news is, Carlos said, today you can take the first step. In front of all of you, there is a muggy bouillon cube, a bouillon cube. And I want you to take this cube with your left hand. Open the cube. That's what we did. 15 middle managers from Banco Santander, from BBVA, from Telefónica in Spain, opening these muggy cubes. He said, break them into 2 halves. Eat 1 half. Hi, Nadine. He made us eat that crap. 15 middlemen. And the good thing is, audiences always do everything you tell them to do. We all put this in our mouth. The avegrein, the bouillon cube. Horrible. I didn't even have wine. I don't put salt anymore on any salad of mine or sauce. Carlos changed my life in 3 minutes. And that was only because of this prop, the bouillon cube. Props are powerful. Welcome to session number 12 of these Q&A sessions here. I welcome 15 people today. Connor must have sent half of you over there in the other call. Connor Neal, isn't he amazing? And this is all about props. We'll have a session on PowerPoint on another occasion. Today, it's all about props, real 3D objects, and the power in public speaking. Hey, everybody, Siegfried, you're back. Hello, Florian, Connor. Hopefully, we have a few coming. Yeah, already 13 here. Harshad, hi, everyone. Today is about props, and this is a Q&A session. Ask questions, as many as you want. As usually, I am prepared here with my mind map on props, but I still have the salty taste. Connor, were you there? I ate the cube again, the IESE cube. So, yeah, Maura, I never add salt. Very good, Maura. Hi, Maura. Yes, it's thanks to Connor, and got to enjoy this last. Yeah. Awesome. So what about props, Typic? Or you want to persuade, inspire people? What is... Well, this bouillon cube was really disgusting. No, Connor, don't put salt on your popcorn. So what's the power in general of a prop? Like when I talk about Aristotle, I show the gift of Connor, who gave me this Aristotle. Hi. What's the power of a prop? Siegfried, what's the power of a prop? Man, this cube was really disgusting. But since it's live, I cannot redo it. Guys, stop saying hello to each other and answer my questions. I'm German. You have to follow my rules. What is the power of a prop, of an object when you speak in public? If not, I will start with the first thing I want to say about props. A prop, that's this guy. A prop supports your message. And this is the first thing today. a prop that does not support your message, I recommend find something else. Because if it does not support your message, audiences, especially now everywhere around the world, we have a good olfato in Spanish, olfactory sense for what is show. Yeah, that's show. And what is entertainment? What is not boring? And what does it help? Does it help me? Is it cool? I want you to use props that support your message. Imagine ads feeling exactly Harsha, because props mostly are visual, more emotional, more feeling. Now, there is a saying, to give an example to support your message with a prop. There's a saying in German. It's a metaphorical motivational phrase. It means in life, sometimes you have to bite granite. You know the granite stone? And to bite granite in German, that would mean metaphorically, you have to persevere, like we have to do right now in this situation, everywhere around the world. We really have to bite granite. What happens when I use a prop with my content? Yeah, prop that is so delicious, Jang, but not a granite stone. I stole it from the little pond in the garden of from my sister-in-law. It involves metaphor on analogy. Of course, it's metaphorical. It's metaphorically, we understand the concept better. And of course, because it's visual, we remember it better. It touches our emotions mostly. Like when you eat this ave grain, it's really disgusting. Use props in our presentation speeches to make our message, our point, more memorable. Connection unstable. We are back. First one to read Florence T-shirt win. Exactly. So here today I give you examples. Let's stick very, very powerful with the sensorial props. What I've just done at the beginning, if you came later, check it out again. This guy made us eat that, and ever since I don't eat maggi, I can't maggi, bouillon cubes, and I don't use salt. Sensorial props. There was a guy in my client, Bofrost. Bofrost is a frozen food giant from Germany, European-wide. They deliver frozen food to homes. And the guy, a humble guy, a sales guy, super nice person, 55 years old, curly hair, glasses. He told us the story about his parents. And he said, yeah, Ayakai, exactly. And he said, you know, I grew up in a very humble household. My father was a garbage man, and my mother was in a booth doing French fries, cooking French fries. Do you have any idea, he said, do you have any idea how it smelled at home? The guy leans down, takes off his shoe, goes to one in the audience and says, this is how it smelled. And in the end of his talk, you know, the last sentence was, you know, now that my parents are gone, I miss that smell at home. Pathos alert, pathos alert, pathos alert. Oh my God. He took off his shoe and it was a smell. It was so it's so sticky. I will remember till the end of my life. So you see, eating, smelling, sensorial ones are very, very powerful. You see, music. The other day I used the clarinet, but you could every time introduce a new chapter presentation like this. Then you cannot say, of course, that, yeah, but what will they think? This is a business presentation and they will think this is not appropriate. Have you ever done it? Why do people always know exactly what you cannot do? And they've never done it. And they have never asked for feedback. And even so, it's the bell curve of perception. A bell curve, Friedrich Gauss, 2.28% always think you're an idiot, whatever you do. So why not do this once, especially in bigger presentation with a bigger audience? This is a sensorial prop. Amazing. Are props for beginners aid to deliver? Okay, Albert and Harshad. Are props for beginners aid to deliver message? Harshad? I'm now in my 16th year of speaking, in my 11th year of professional speaking. I've done hundreds of speeches. I earn normally my living with it. Not these days. That was my last allusion to this dark cloud that we are under right now below. That was the last one. I promise that. Harshad, I always use props. It's not for beginners and it's not for pros. A prop supports your message. But there are, of course, things to have in mind. Metaphorically said, back to Maria Luthi. Hi, Maria. Metaphorically saying to support something physically, often by leaning it against something else or putting something under it. Well, that's a deep phrase. We have a winner, Harshad. Hi, I'm late. Sorry, Albert. This is all about props today. I said it has to support the message. Next reflection from my side. Avoid cliche. Connor, you're so good at definitions. Can you, in the chat, define cliche for every one of us so everyone is on the same page when we talk about cliche? It's always difficult with abstract words because everyone in the chat, we have 17 people now. There will be 17 opinion definitions of cliche. Connor, while you're doing this, I will finish. I want to go with the cliche thing in a second. When I have a definition, Connor, hope you're still here. Another one, be careful. Sensorial props are amazing, like the musical instrument, like the Evergreen I ate at the beginning, the bouillon cube. I once used perfume, and I did this into the audience. And one person was allergic. It's really sometimes tricky. You have to have everything in mind. So next time I will never do anything with smells, perfumes, deodorant. I will never do it again because there are people who are allergic. You cannot give nuts to people in the audience. You're dead. That brings us to the cliche. Do we have a cliche? Okay, cliche. Connor, all the time you say hey to people. I need your help to define cliche. Okay, I'd give my very down-to-earth, super easy definition of cliche. It's commonly known, copy paste, everybody knows it. In the end, cliche for me is boring. Because everything that everyone else does or says on stage is boring. You're not surprising, you're not different. I don't want it. Okay, now is that Wikipedia? Opinion that is overused and betrays a lack of original thought. Exactly, lack of original thought. That old cliche is a woman's place in the home. Exactly. We use cliche to make fun of ourselves, self-deprecating humor, Germans. We are so structured, I make tic-tac-toe look like chaos. That is self-deprecating humor combined with hyperbole. Humor is another one, will come soon. No, but cliche with props. We today with props. You know, the peak of creativity I see on stages is this. The other day I received a phone call from my client, Mr. Miller, blah, 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 blah. Creative. Siegfried, if you have 3 parts in your speech and use a prop for the first part, is it better to use all the props in the other 2 parts? What happens when you use 17 props like I will do today here? I will use a lot of props here. Like these days, is my Omega, is it called Seamaster? I never know that's B-Master, Seamaster. Is my Omega Seamaster really valuable these days? Or this? You see, value changes over time. Could be the message, then I use this. You see, you will do, when I use a lot of them, it feels a little bit to me, this is objective, as always. Ooh, I mean, the bell curve, connections on the bell curve, you don't want to lose 80% unnecessarily. But don't do cliche. Don't do what everyone else does. Don't take out the newspaper. Have you read this morning in the newspaper? This is, well, what to do? What to do? We cannot change that, Connor. We cannot change the Toastmasters. Every call I will mention Toastmasters. There was a guy who used this. Reflection, amazing inspiration. And this is what happens when you use non-cliche props. Props are great when they support your message. The other day, I showed props are great for demonstration. Demonstration. Do you know Hans Rosling? I put in my favorite of Hans Rosling now in the chat. That will come 35 seconds later. Thank you, Connor, for the hint. But Hans Rosling is amazing. This the world population problem, and yeah, Hans. Now it seems like it's back to normal chat, and it's a connection thing. These days, everybody's online. Now, this is my favorite one. Check them. Props are very good when they support the most. Logos, if you remember well, it makes sense what you say. Aristotle, logos, the word, the discourse, the reason, it makes sense what you say. When I see it, I believe it. That is cliche, but it's true. Seeing is believing. The other day I talked about a tip to improve your diction. And I talked about the wine cork that my friend Olivia Schofield, a pro speaker, told me to do. But here it is. You can cut a wine cork in 2 halves, and then you do this, and then you talk for 2 minutes like this, and then be careful, do it home alone, because the saliva shoots out after 10 seconds. But when you take out the wine cork after 2 minutes of trying this, you will speak like this. It is absolutely amazing. That is a demonstration. You can use props to demonstrate. Where do you store all those props? Well, today, Rose Connor, she really freaked out. Special Rose up there working. She really freaked out. She said, everyone back to its place. Everyone back to its place. And there's a lot of stuff. Because sometimes you want to spice up your speech with real chili. Not like tourist chili, with real chili. Spice up your speech, for instance, with dialogue. Logos, convince another by use of logical reason. Exactly, Maria. We had it already, but there will be a session on completely on logos as well. So back to props. Support the message. Be creative, non-cliche. Be creative. What would be another one, a creative I love to talk in my trainings about the power of examples. People do not give specific examples. They speak generally. Now, that's not what people do. They always do general talk. We have to do, like the bullshit bingo, we have to create a win-win situation. Have you ever seen a win-win? We have to have synergies with our clients. Have you ever seen a synergy? We haven't reached the critical mass. Have you ever seen the phase of a critical mass? It's all generic abstraction. It is useless. More useless than an ashtray on a motorbike. When you use examples, you are specific. And they're memorable, and the people understand what you mean. And your logos, Maria, logos goes up. Have you ever peeled an onion? I love to cook. Who loves to cook? Anyone loves to cook? I love to cook. Have you ever peeled an onion? You can peel, take off one, and then you peel, and there's another layer, and you peel, and another layer, and another layer, and another layer, and another layer. It never stops. There's thousands of layers in this onion. Yes, you love to cook. An example is an onion. The deeper you go down, like I'm an IT, that is from my new book, 102 Visual Tips, 102 Visual Tips. Apparently there are 102 visual tips in the book. And one of them is like an onion there, a visualization. And when I ask what you're doing for a living, people say normally, I'm an IT guy. That is an exclusive invitation to go back to the bar and have another glass of Spanish red wine. I'm a banker, I'm an IT guy. Better is to say, I program sales software. Better is to say, I do customer relationship management software. Better is, I'm a salesperson and programmer, and I have to go with my clients to events as a CRM software engineer. And then better is to say, the other day I went to Oktoberfest, Munich. And then better is to say, and then I had 3 leader mugs with my clients. So the more you go down, the more specific you are, the more it makes sense, the more it's memorable. It's amazing. Maria, exactly. So this doesn't exist. So I went to handicraft shops. Many of my props, I collect stuff at handicraft. There are shops in your town for doing that. You can order online stuff, but I love to be in the shops and sneak around. This was a polyethylene, I think it's called, a big red plastic page. These are letters I bought. There you can buy them. Then I measure how is the stop sign. Then I cut it with a carpet cutter, and then I put this in the right place, and now I have a stop sign. When you're in front of 2,000 people, you could have a real stop sign. When you know a police guy, they organize it for you. Props, another one, how to handle them. Do you have all the guys in the team here, have you ever had problems with props, with the handling of props? Did they always work the way you wanted them to work? Do props always work the way you want? Or are there fuck-ups? I fucked up. You don't have to answer, huh? Don't have to answer. Yes, Manny Siegfried. Too big to hide, Nadine. Yeah, exactly. Handling of props. It's all about, as always, preparation. Benjamin Franklin, $100 bill, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. You must know 3 things. First of all, props are better when they come by surprise. They must come by surprise. This is the good thing about online. Connor, you said it. How many props here? The good thing is you can have them. You don't see them. On a real stage, always an issue. Always an issue. You want to make sure you take them by surprise. You can hide them somewhere. You can have it under a blanket. A black blanket looks cool. Under the lectern on the side of the stage, because you take away the lectern. Don't have the lectern there. You need your stage. Then you want to take them by surprise. You have to know where to put them. Then, of course, you have to know how to use them. This works here very well. Stop. We hide our emotions behind the mask in public speaking. We say, stop, you have to take away the mask. This works very well here. But when I presented in Kuala Lumpur in front of 1,300 people 6 years ago, that is small. So yeah, which one want to use? Which size? Think about it. And then once you use them, how to get rid of them. There's nothing worse for me. Yeah, Steve Jobs. Harshad, my favorite is the air in this envelope. The envelope. Oh, this is such a demonstration. This is so awesome. And they all have it in their companies, the envelope. Now, what I want to say, after using it, Steve did it very well. He practiced, rehearsed, very much so. You have to get rid of it. Don't you love when people have their phone then talking to Mr. Miller, the client? Amateur. Take them by surprise and prepare. Support them as non-cliche. Do I have anything else here? Yeah, there's another example. I think that was, okay, ask question better. How about Tesla demonstrating their crutch? Well, he's human. In his communication afterwards, Elon Musk, didn't he approach it with sincerity? It's a big risk. They didn't try it. They didn't prepare the right way. Apparently not. Siegfried, I remember you in Lyon for your workshop. You began with the mask and the elastic broke. You managed the moment beautifully. Yeah, there's always something going wrong. It's amazing. Maria, all new. Once I've met a German teacher who used props a lot. Nice teaching time on the internet game German course. Yeah, because here, you know, your reptilian brain, the oldest one, has an attention span. This is the cliche one in the internet. The goldfish has 9 seconds and we have 8 seconds of attention, which is true. It's the reptilian brain, your oldest one, the instinct-driven brain. So we need constant. When I see the YouTubers of Alvaro, I do, how can they yell so much and do all the time? My Alvaro is 30. I had everything already. Oh yeah, is the Nadine, you're still here? It's also good for selling. And Nadine doesn't know this. She's also an inventor. She's a lateral thinker. She always invents stuff. And she gave me this here. This is a key charmer. And there's a key charmer. It's a leather piece. It's quite simple, but nobody has ever done it. And it goes around, hurts me. It doesn't hurt the back, the pockets. So the key charmer is an amazing invention. It's easy to do, but nobody has ever done it. Nadine, great job. When you sell something, show it to people, especially online. When you teach something, show Aristotle. Don't talk about Aristotle. I think in online, Connor, I think now is the time of props, even more, because here we can use more props, while in a real staged speech, my recommendation would be no more than 3 max. What would be nice is this one here. That is my speech structure building, and these are the main argument blocks. You could use one prop, for instance, in each of these content blocks, argument blocks. That makes sense. It's a nice equilibrium, but not more than 4 to do. Because you're yourself, you're an authentic performer, yes, you're an authentic performer, but you're authentic also. Don't overdo it. It's yin and yang. Balance is once again the word. Oh, before I said the stop sign here on a big screen, on a big stage, maybe small, but you can always find bigger things. And in the same handicraft shop, for those of you who are from Barcelona, the 7-story store, Aragon with Paseo de Gracia, it's amazing. It's my heaven. I found this card game. And you see, this is a big card game. Now, this is something I can use. Which is your card in life? Is it this one? Or are you an 8? Hearts. You see, when you buy that, you can use it with much more power, with much more impact on stage. Books, almost cliche, but no, I think it's always good to show. Right now, I am creating a short introduction to rhetoric in German for the school of my son, because they're all at home, homeschooling. So I do this. It's on top. And of course, there I show books. Any other question? I'll try to use some props in my English classes online. I'm creeping on it yet, but thanks for the piece of advice. Maria, whatever you do, online, offline, always have in mind perception in any audience in the world is the bell curve. 2.28% think you take drugs or you're an idiot. 2.28% think you're a genius. It's the haters and the lovers. In the US, Republicans, Democrats, 50-50, you see it just beautifully there. It's a bell curve. Dare to do more. With props, dare to do more. But make sure they support the message. They're creative, not cliche, and know how to use them. These are the 3 main takeaways of today, if I think about it. How about lousy props? What is a lousy prop? What's a lousy prop? Won't them hurt you more than help you? What is a lousy prop? Can you be precise, Juan? What do you mean by lousy? But this one for the road. It wasn't a course. Those of you who do English class, trainers, teachers, but you can also do this in business. Because the typical question, come on, have you heard about the elevator pitch? Elevator pitch. Zzz, or zzz, ding. Why you? Why should I work with you? Why? A sales guy, his name is Mark Stähli, tall, 2 meters tall, came 5 years ago with a Tesla. I didn't know Tesla. And he did ding, ding from 100 meters. It was amazing. And the guy is so slick, so cool. And he's a sales super pro from Switzerland, Zurich. And he gave his class on sales for one day. And he said, okay, I want you to tell me why you, an elevator pitch, while this is burning in your finger. Why me? Why me? Yeah, I don't know, man. Why me? You get the point. It was more or less 50 seconds. So in 50 seconds, I have to tell the guy, why me? He used a match. You see, that is a prop. Be creative with props, make sure they support the message, and make sure how to handle them. There will always be fuck-ups. Don't care. Next time you will be better. Perfection is that's why I say public speaking is a mountain without a peak. We will never find it, but we're walking there. Guys, any other last question? Using props will be much easier to use on online stages. What might be the future? I just said it before. I mean, I'm just realizing all this myself. I had no idea. I never did live sessions online on YouTube. Now I do them. And if you see this here, later on my Insta, I will put a photo. Today, it really looks weird here today. You can do much more here online with that than maybe offline. Brave new world. You have to try out things. Okay, the lousy Bob, Juan, Siegfried, we will discuss next time. You got the points. Use props that support your message. Okay, one last goodie. One last goodie. One last goodie. It's this one. What's this one? It's a Frisbee. It's a Frisbee. In my keynote speech 5 weeks ago in Bonn, I mentioned it before in another call, Essity, Swedish paper company. They produce stuff like that. They're very happy at this moment. And there's this law lady, and she talked about the problem of copyright. Copyright's a problem. When they say, give me Kleenex, that's a problem, because then it becomes a generic brand, and generic brands have no rights. You lose your rights. And she talked about a company that lost their rights. And the company is called Frisbee. It was an Australian-based company, and they invented that. That's a Frisbee. And because everyone had Frisbee, they lost their rights. I think Zoom will be very careful right now not to lose their brand. She could have used a Frisbee. Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for the interaction as usual. Tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow's subject. Let's kill PowerPoint and let it live again afterwards with power in your point. Hasta mañana. Hasta la vista.